just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Hey everybody, welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I am Dino as always, and that is Dave Plouffe. Plouffe is French, aka the monk.
That's right.
The monk, yes. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing fantastic. It is a beautiful overcast day here in Southern California.
Very good.
And Sears James says he's excited for this as well. And hello, Paul Ham and Ron and
Connie Clary.
Connie Clary's here too.
Yeah. Who else do we got? Let's see. That's all I see at the moment. But anyways, how is there not more people talking about Kolchak, the Night Stalker, everything having to do with this series because it's so good and people seem to really like it. Ricky Spanish, I used to watch the show and Kolchak appeared on X-Files as well. Yes. And the thing is with Kolchak, in this episode in particular, I don't know if you agree with me, Dave, probably. It has more of an X-Files feel than even the first one, The Ripper. I think.
I definitely felt that as well.
It was a little less jokey in this episode than the last one and the movies, of course. Well, not the first one, the second one a bit more, but I'm interested in seeing how each episode progresses and how Kolchak changes maybe and Vincenzo, because Vincenzo was way calmer in this one, you know. I think he's on heart meds, Dave.
He may be, or he switched to decaf. I don't know.
Black Roses is here. Derek Galloway, Night Fright Talk Show. Good to see everybody. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button, please. Subscribe, comment afterwards. All that good stuff. I do have an Etsy store. Nothing's been bought yet, but I got some really cool stuff up there, man. And every day I'm putting new stuff up there. So there's that. Becca Tutal, what's going on?
And I will definitely be getting one of the Johnny Dollar t-shirts because that is a fantastic design.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I love the lamps that are on there. Just saying, I don't know. They're a little bit, they're like $60, but they're really cool looking. I want to get them all for the. Anyways, Becca Tutal says, Kolchak, what's up, guys? How come there are not more people here for this? Most people are. Listen, they're coming. WWM, what's going on? One of the creepiest episodes in the series. This one, Zombie? Okay. As I think, and same with you, Dave, progressing through the series, because I watched the movies. You told me about them, but I don't think we really sat down and watched the series, did we?
No, we did not.
So we're doing.
And this is, for the most part, this is my first walkthrough through the series as well. Okay. I have the DVD or DVDs because it is just one season. It is 20 episodes, and I've probably seen maybe 8 of the episodes. So I'm really excited to see the latter half because I know there's some really great episodes coming up. But how can you not like Kolchak? It's just amazing.
Kolchak, Darren McGavin is just incredible. And the series in general is like this one in particular. There's 2 people. I'm going to talk about a character from Seinfeld was in this episode. A character from Sanford and Son was in this episode. And I'm anxious and I want to talk about it because it's fun. And those are some of my favorite shows. But this really starts off being about the Italians, the Russos, the syndicate, they call it. They won't say mafia, mobster.
They won't, but it is Chicago. We've already been to Las Vegas. We've been up to Seattle. And now it looks like the INS, the International News Service, is going to be based in Chicago. And, of course, you've got mafia in Chicago. You've got gangsters in Chicago. Yeah. And
the syndicate, Dave. Don't use the M word.
Well, I'm sorry.
By the way, because there's a guy and a third person in here that was from All in the Family, having to do with the syndicate, the mafia. We don't use that term, the mafia. Anyways, I can't wait to talk about these. All my favorite shows. Anyways, go on, Dave.
All right, but I wanted to start off by saying as well, too, what an incredibly wonderful office that Kolchak has to go to work in.
Well, I had a question about that, but go ahead.
Okay, I just love the way it's laid out, the typewriters, the where you get your coffee. I love the way when he goes in and throws his hat on the hook and it falls and he just doesn't care. And then
We like no beverage or food that's right above the coffee pot and where the food is.
yeah,
Come on, you know. Jenny's Books and Vlogs. Welcome to the channel. Good to see you here. And Kathy, big hugs to you. Peter, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. There is no mafia and no fight club, no. But yes, Dave, The Office. The question I had to you though, isn't that the same office from the movie?
it sure looked like it.
Yes,
it sure looked like it. But you know, hey, maybe all offices were the same back in the 70s.
Well, no, I think it was the Seattle office in Chicago. It was the Seattle office in Chicago. But yes, listen, it's a really cool set, and I could see why they probably returned to it. And they're probably going to use it more. Well, we'll see. They didn't get booted from the city this time.
No, I think they're going to be in Chicago the entire series.
Okay, so there you go.
We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. But the show really kicks off, like I said. There's the Italian Russos, the mob boss by the name of I wrote his name down, Mr. Sposato. I don't know. I think that's it, Mr. Sposato, and the Black Syndicate. So there's a Black Syndicate from who is run by the Duke of the South Side Numbers Racket, because this is all about the numbers racket, people. You know, placing bets. You know, mob bosses here, and syndicate here, and you got to watch what I say and look out the window and be careful on what's going on.
Well,
But
if you don't show up next week, we'll know.
Yeah, I keep interrupting you again.
That's okay. Don't interrupt.
Take it away. Take it away, Dave.
No, it's just I was going to say the film or the series starts out that we've got the antagonist, this daughter of the owner. That's the owner's based in New York, and so of course Vincenzo is like, Kolchak, we're going to team her up with you, and Kolchak's like, no way, And it was great because he's like
Monique Marmelstein.
Is that her name?
That's her name, Monique Marmelstein.
Okay. And so what this back in the 70s, I hate to see the way that women were treated. But he brings her out to basically a farmhouse where there's going to be a shootout.
Oh God, you're jumping way ahead.
I'm sorry. Then we'll go back.
Hey, listen, we got an hour an hour at least or something. Hey guys, what's up? Shaggy Zoinks, what's up, John? And Paul Duke is Huggy Bear from Star Singing. Okay, the one thing I want to say about Monique Marmelstein, who wants to be a reporter really bad, and Vincenzo, like you said, is going to get Kolchak to take her with him on this kind of this story. And her uncle is Uncle Abe. He's a big wig in New York, and you got to do what he says. So she wants to be a reporter. Please go ahead and make her a reporter. But what I wanted to get to was she is played by Carol Ann Susi, Susi, and she is the character on Seinfeld who, when George gets unemployed, he goes to the unemployment office and he looks at the picture and goes, "Oh, is this your daughter? Stop messing with me. This beautiful woman is your daughter?" And it was Monique. It was Carol Ann Susi. And she talked like this, George, were you going to take me for some Big Macs? Remember that episode?
I do not remember that episode.
Oh my God. He took her to McDonald's for the date because that's all he could afford. But that was her. That was the character she played in Seinfeld. But she had a run. She was big in The Big Bang Theory too. She had a long run in movies and TV shows. But I had to point that out because we always do when it comes to Seinfeld. Right, Sears James? You remember that lady, right?
I'm sure Sears James knows that.
Oh, yeah. George, just take me home. He goes, but I want to call you. Make sure everything's okay. Listen, this ain't gonna work out. And she got that voice, and you could tell as soon as she started talking, I'm like, that's her. That's the girl from Seinfeld. Anyways, okay, I'm done.
All right.
So let's jump into it.
Okay. Well, we're
Yeah.
introduced early on to the monster, but we don't see the monster, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So the syndicate is actually doing some money counting in the back of basically like a big rig.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool to see like the doors of the big rig like start to move. And, you know, there's a big piece of 2x4, 2x6 that's keeping the doors closed, and it just splinters. And then all of a sudden you see.
And the Russos are in there. They're counting coin.
They are. A couple of them get away. But there's one guy, ex-boxer, that isn't going to get away. And he
said a line in there. Do you remember it? It was so funny. It was right out of the detective shows like Pat Novak or something, but I can't remember the line. I didn't write it down.
It was from Kolchak.
Yeah.
I don't remember the line either. But it was now that you mention it, it was fantastic.
He was a boxer who fell, and he thought, I mean, something really sarcastic. It was one of those one-liners, and it was perfect. If you watch the episode, please check it out. She passed away a few years ago. Carol Ann Susie. Okay. Was just going to mention Big Bang Theory. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, he's breaking into this big rig truck, and they're counting their money, and this is the first sign of the zombie. Which, by the way, the zombie. Well, I mean, we could say it. It's titled Zombie, but yeah, he's very clean throughout this movie, Dave. Very clean jeans throughout this. Buried 3 times. Well, 2 times.
2 times. Third time, hopefully for good.
Yeah. In jeans, I guess. You know, it's just the funeral director and everybody said, leave him in his jeans and his ripped shirt with the, you know, no sleeves, you know. Oh, my gosh. Okay, Dave. Hey, Sweet Indigo.
I was just waiting for the quote here. Willie was making a bundle he would never get to spend.
Poor guy ends up dead. Yeah. And that episode, that was the Keith Hernandez episode as well. Anyways, so yeah, like you said, that was the first death in the big rig, and it was who was it? It was one of the Russos, the Russo brothers from this Italian syndicate.
I'm not exactly sure if it was a Russo brother or just another person connected with their group.
Okay.
But he was someone who, of course, we're going to find out is involved in an earlier murder.
Yes, because I think everybody having to do with the numbers racket start dying. They start dying. And I guess the first one to die was the zombie, who technically is, listen, it's an hour long, 55 minutes. We can give things away. Francis Edmonds. Okay, who is? Well, go ahead.
Keep in mind too that know this is the first time we're doing a Kolchak on a condensed time frame.
Yeah.
You know, there used to be an hour and 15 minutes, and now all of a sudden we're cutting about 20 minutes off of these shows. Yeah. And to me, they're losing a lot of backstory. Yeah. You know, and so I think they're just learning how to cut their teeth on.
Episodic TV.
Yeah.
And again, it's still, I mean, Kolchak, I mean, come on. I see where the inspiration comes from for the X-Files and things that were done in the future. You know, each episode having to do with a monster. And again, this one a little bit darker, less funny, but still has some funny things in it. Especially the way he treats Monique. I mean, again, there's a lot of that. How they treat women type of thing, you know, back in the decade of the 70s and stuff like that. And it's interesting how they say things. I mean, there's even some racial things that are said. I mean, they say the black syndicate, but there were a couple other things said in there, which we definitely will not mention. Right. But it's a time capsule. It's what was said during that time period, that day and time or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, listen, after that, we end up. I was going to say the first death technically was Francois Edmonds, who is from the Black Syndicate, who this whole story like kind of spawns off of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was a numbers runner as well. Because
yes.
Kolchak, one of the way he tries to, get leads is that he starts asking around for this particular person.
It's funny seeing the zombie riding on a bus. Did you see him riding on the bus?
He rides on the bus near the end.
How did I miss that?
Because it takes us to the auto wrecking yard.
Yes, more Junkyard. It was Moore, more Junkyard. And but I didn't see the zombie in the bus. I missed that, and I was very intently looking. Who would stop and pick him up? Right?
He's also very well behaved on the bus as well.
He was. He was a very, Well, listen, he's a zombie, and they portray the zombie in this show dealing with voodoo. I mean, that's
right.
The voodoo side of the zombie, not the zombie who gets a virus, dies, and comes back to life. This voodoo side of things is more, mystical and magical, and it's done by who's the woman in this that
I don't remember her name, but I wanted to bring up to you because we're both fans of the Ghost Breakers. It was that type of zombie from the Ghost Breakers, where it's someone who's brought back from the dead, who just is just kind of like just there and shuffling around, not really interacting with the world, but is there for a purpose. And rather than like eating brains, like we're so used to a Night of the Living Dead.
I think that was a cool thing. Hey, CM, like you said, the Ghostbreaker zombie, where the sleeves are kind of, it was like right out of those movies back in the day.
Yeah.
What was the Mantan Moreland zombie flick too? Somebody in the chat, Paul Hamill, no. Mantan Moreland, he went to the island. There were a bunch of zombies, and they all walked around like this too, where they were black men. They were in slacks and ripped shirt with cut off sleeves, and they just looked in a zombified kind of state. So yes. Who remembers Vampire's Kiss 1980? Well, we're far away off of that, Derek Galloway. We are talking zombie 1970s, Kolchak. Vampire's Kiss 1989 is a fantastic movie. I like. It's very weird, very David Lynch-like. But we're not here to talk about that tonight. King of the Zombies. Thank you, Paul Ham. Have you seen that, Dave?
I have not. I do have it as a DVD from.
You would love it.
Anything Mantan Moreland does just makes me happy.
Oh, and he acts just like Mantan Moreland does when the zombies come. His eyes bug out, and he's like, scared to death. But it's the same zombies like in here. But go ahead.
And there's a part in here in the Kolchak, which reminded me also of Mantan Moreland in the Charlie Chan film Dark Alibi, where the two kind of complete each other's sentences. And there's an interaction between Kolchak and Vincenzo that's very, very similar.
Nice. Yes. Very cool. And you know what? There's 73 thumbs up already. Thank you, guys. Please give some thumbs up. The record is 100 thumbs up at the top of the hour. Is this episode gonna beat that? I don't know. Hit that thumbs up, you guys. Try to get to 100. But and thank you, Connie, as always. Mantan is also in Revenge of the Zombies with John Carradine. Yes, he is. So what takes us next to like you were going to talk about that barn where she's going with Kolchak, Monique. With the camera, she's going to get the story and take pictures, and it's the Appleworks barn.
Yeah, but I absolutely love the vigorousness of her when she gets out of the car and goes to take pictures, because it literally is right up right up to passing up the cops and everything just to get that picture. And
it's that old Fuji, like thin with the little bulb on the top. It's like, I just love it. I love it.
It really is. just terrific.
And I love that there's bullets going all over the place. And you're going to say it. Go ahead.
Yeah. And Kolchak, grabs her and takes her to the back of the car. He's all, and he like tricks her. He's all, you're going to get a better angle from here. Get in the trunk. And then she, ends up getting slammed into the trunk, and
he throws her in the trunk and locks her in, says you'll be safer in here. Just to get her out of the way. Kolchak, man, the dude's hilarious. And you know what? We don't see her too much more until like towards the end.
No, we only see her in 2 other sections of the episode. One is when she's on the phone where she's supposed to get an apology but doesn't.
Yeah.
And then at the very end where she sees the dead body and kind of freezes, and he puts her into a cab back to Brooklyn.
Yes. Back to Brooklyn. Okay. Anyways, at the barn, it's the Russo brothers that are in the barn shooting out with the police.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good gun battle.
It went on for 15 minutes, Dave.
There are a lot of bullet holes in that barn, and it is a massacre. No police die, but all the Russo brothers die. Yeah. But they also find 1 extra body in there as well.
Yeah, and it's the zombie. It's the zombie because we are next taken to Gordy the Ghoul, the morgue. The morgue, and we meet another character actor in many TV shows back in the day, Gordy the Ghoul. And this is that kind of guy, that insider guy for Kolchak, like we get in the movies. And, I think every one of these episodes, there's going to be some kind of inside guy, And Gordy the Ghoul is that guy, right, Dave?
He is. And he is one of those, again, an actor that you absolutely know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on everything from the Brady Bunch to Columbo.
Yeah.
And just, you hear his voice, and
he's got that low voice. He's got
it's the voice of Piglet, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Could be.
So he is just a well-heeled actor. And so I really love how they've kind of surrounded Carl Kolchak, at least early on in the series, with some pretty esteemed actors. This is not like, hey, we just graduated college. Yeah. These are very professional actors.
Oh, and Gordy the Ghoul, exactly. Gordy the Ghoul is in more than 1 episode, okay, as me and Dave are working our way through the series because never seen him before. And love the movies, of course. Kolchak is legend. The morgue segment are always gems. Yes, this is where he actually sees the arm sticking out, and he sees the black zombified arm of a dead body, whatever. I don't know. They're going to bury him again, I guess.
And I was going to say point for Paul Hamm.
Paul Hamm. For what?
He gets a point for saying he's going to be in more than 1 episode.
Okay, so 1 point to Paul Hamm.
Yeah.
Hey, hopefully everybody liked the trivia night the other night, Island of Lost Souls. It was a little bit different, harder questions. I made it harder for him, Dave, and it was a little tougher. But
it was great because that was actually one of the varieties I had not seen before. I had seen the ones with, of course, Marlon Brando, and Val Kilmer, and then also the one with Burt Lancaster.
Okay.
I didn't know Bela Lugosi had done that.
No, but I think Island of Lost Souls is the best of them all, but in my opinion. But what was I going to say?
We were in the morgue.
Yeah. Anyways, so Gordy the Ghoul, he kind of is, giving him some inside information, right? I forget what he tells him, but
he is. But again, he has to pay for it, and the morgue guy is also running his own kind of numbers thing.
Yeah, but the whole show has to do with the numbers racket, and everybody's involved. I think what happens next, Gordy the Ghoul tells him about a way to get in, and it's by placing a bet through one of the bookies, and he is trying to he would need a lucky number, he said, right? Isn't that what he said? To place a bet. and nobody was letting him place a bet.
But true. And before we get there,
Okay.
he also makes the comment that this guy, the zombie, had been buried last week. It's like, this is the morgue. And that kind of like got Kolchak's attention. So he goes out to the graveyard to see him buried again. And there he runs into the police detective sergeant person and starts questioning him. Like, why are you going to this guy's quote unquote funeral? You know, is there something else going on I should know about?
Police Captain Leo Winwood, played by Charles Aidman. Like that really means anything, but he was one of the, I didn't care too much for him. A lot of the other police chiefs in the two movies and the last one had kind of an attitude. This time there wasn't much of an attitude, just a little bit here or there. I don't know whether it's because the show was condensed, Dave, a bit more, that some of that charm was left out of this when it came to the chief, when it came to Vincenzo, and like you said, some of that backstory, you know, it could be. I don't know.
I think also when we start seeing these police chiefs, because there's going to have to be more than one, because he's going to be not arrested, but leaves the force at the end of the show, this episode. So I'm wondering if there's going to be multiple police chiefs that Darren McGavin's going to have to interact with.
Yeah, because like Paul Hamm says, he ends up being a corrupt cop. Yes, he was involved in the numbers racket, and I love how Kolchak at one point called him out on it, and it was saying, "Listen here," because he came up and he was trying to get him. Maybe I can get you on some violations at this place. You know, he's trying to shut him down and quiet him up. But everybody was involved. I do like that there was the Italian syndicate and the black syndicate. I do like that, you know, the South Duke of Southside numbers racket played by his name was Sweet Stick Weldon, and he was in Sanford and Son. He played a lawyer in Sanford and Son, if you remember the episode, if anybody's a Sanford and Son fan. And he came in to tell Lamont to fight the ticket because it was his third speeding ticket. And if I get another one, Lamont said, they take my driver's license away. And then we got no business, Pop, you know. And Fred said, "You listen to this guy." I forget his name in the show, but he played the lawyer, and he had the full outfit on and hat, just like in this show. And he was telling. But anyways, I have to throw out those things when I see them because, like we said earlier on, all these actors played in so many different things, and
he sounded like when you described him just now, it kind of reminded me of Jackie Childs from Seinfeld.
Yes, Jackie Childs, a little bit Jackie Childs. He had that kind of attitude going, but he does run it. Well, are we at the point where he runs into Scatman Crothers, who's also?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he has Shining is what.
And it was funny because, like, the first time I watched this, I'm like, the guy really reminds me of Scatman Crothers.
He has the most terrible Louisiana accent for Voodoo because it's Voodoo, you know, it surrounds Voodoo. And he comes in, Scatman Crothers, I guess he just doesn't play. He can do Hong Kong Phooey fine.
But to me,
he can't.
He's so wasted in this episode.
Oh,
you see him for like two minutes, not even 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he's gone. And I'm like, was it just because he was a friend of someone's? You know, was there just a paycheck needed? What was going on?
Huggy Bear Fear.
Because for me, my favorite Scatman Crothers episode or movie was when he was on Silver Streak.
Oh yeah.
That was just one of my favorite. You know, when he keeps going, "Damn hippies,
damn hippies," he says, "Damn hippies." I think that's how he sounds. Scatman Crothers, damn it! Because Gene Wilder and oh my God.
Well, Ned Beatty's in it for a little while.
Yeah. But yeah, Silver Streak is a fantastic. Anything with Gene Wilder in it is great. Yeah. But I do agree, and again, I don't understand why his accent was so bad. Scatman Crothers, come on. But he goes in there, and I think that's where he finds out he's got to get the bet, right? I think that's where he gets it, and then he points him to the direction, I think, of Sweet Stick Weldon is what he does.
Well, then Sweet Stick shows up.
Yeah, he does
with his bodyguards and his walking stick.
Yep.
And he's all like, you know, called me this in one of your newspaper articles. And I love how Kolchak, and he does this a couple times during the episode, goes like, oh no, that wasn't me. That was my cousin, Michael Kolchak.
Yeah, he was given excuse after excuse because Sweet Stick came in and said, you've been trying to place bets all over town. And, you know, they're holding them back and stuff. And yeah, it was kind of funny. Hey, Francis McCloskey, what's going on? Good to see you. Raphael, what's going on? I like the small Kodak camera with the 4 flash cube. Mickey Mouse today. Yes, I know. So old school. But yeah, eventually they let him go too. And Kolchak runs out the door. And we're taken to the next scene, right? Let me get a sip of water. Yeah. What's the next scene, Dave?
The next scene is actually in a parking garage.
Underground garage.
Yeah, something like that. They're doing some car painting, things like that. And it's the basically the Italian mafia and
syndicate.
And sorry, syndicate. Hopefully I'll show up next week.
But do you like how when they do shoot to the underground garage, what comes not flying in, but driving in is the great purple bird?
I don't know.
Sweet Stick's vehicle, Oldsmobile, that pimp car.
It is a pimp car. I do agree with the white wall tires and everything.
It's the great purple bird is what they say in the episode. It's so funny.
But I just love how, you know, Kolchak is already there in position, hiding behind like a Mustang or something like that. Yeah. And you just, you know, mentioned the old camera, and he's got his old tape recorder. Yeah. And so he kind of puts it up on the car, and he's like hiding behind. He's going to get caught.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
of course, yeah. You get Sweet Stick, and you get Mr. Sposato. I know that's his name. I just whether I spelled it right or not, who the heck knows. Mr. Sposato is there, and they're both like talking about it's two syndicates, it's two mob groups. It's you know, head to head, you know, saying, well, basically, Mr. Sposato is telling Sweet Stick, if I don't get restitution or whatever for the people who died in our syndicate and in our gang, you are going to have to give us a quarter of your profits from your area. I mean, that takes some big balls from Mr. Sposato. But Mr. Sposato, Dave, has some henchmen around.
He does.
He does. And one of those henchmen is named Victor.
Yeah.
And Victor played on an episode of All in the Family.
What did he play?
He played a mobster. It was the episode where Archie Bunker went with Meathead because they were getting along so well, ran up to the beverage store, and I guess the Italian beverage owner, his store, got robbed. And Archie comes back and he tells everybody and the police and the newspaper that this big black Cadillac pulled up and there were 2 guys in black suits, basically saying it was the mob that, you know, that he, you know, because that's what Archie did. And listen here, did you listen to me? He blames everybody because of their race and their creed or whatever on their ethnicity. And the next day, Victor comes and he shows up and he's threatening Archie. Yeah, there's no such thing as the mafia. It's a club. Anyways, he goes on and on and on. But he's scared the living daylights out of Archie, and I thought it was so funny. And you know, Sanford Son Archie, they're a couple of my favorite shows of all time. I wake up to them every day, Dave, on a rotation the past 10 years to wake me up and still fall asleep and stay asleep for about a good hour or so. You know, because if I didn't have no noise, I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep. So I pop on my little hard drive, you know, I stick into the TV, the USB drive, and start to play from beginning to end the entire series of All in the Family. Then once that's done, I go to Sanford Son. Then I go back to the beginning of All in the Family, and then I just so people know exactly what does Dino do.
And do you have macrame hangers at your house as well? I mean, it sounds like you're caught in the 70s.
Listen, I was thinking the past couple days that I need to do that. I need to start fresh, start out with a nice 70s couch, get some match. Yes, exactly like you said. It may happen. And then I'll have one room dedicated to all the tech that I need. But anyways, G. Ray Wells, great show. Thank you, G. Ray. What's up, G. Ray?
So with All in the Family and Sanford and Sons, how do you feel about Alice?
I'm not going to put it on and watch it. Alice was okay. I mean, it was all right. You know what show I did start watching from the 70s? Listen, we got a few minutes to throw in the trash can here.
I mean, we may lose some thumbs up with this talk.
Well, let's see where we're at with the thumbs up. 98, 2 more thumbs up.
Oh my gosh, come on.
Holy
people.
hell.
That's amazing.
Dave, we're going to make the record, and I do got to write it down. 2 more thumbs up. It's 37 minutes in. The record so far, quickest to 100, is 1 hour. We're 37 minutes in, and we're at 98. So I'm going to count down a second, and then I will talk about, come on, 2 more, you guys. 2 more thumbs up, and we will beat the record. Let's do it for Dave Plouffe. Dave Plouffe. Dave Plouffe.
We're doing it for Carl Kolchak is who we're doing it for.
Carl Kolchak. 99. We're at 99 thumbs up. Come on, one more that I could write down. 98. Somebody took it away. 90. Okay, 99. Come on, one more. Do it for me, people. I want to see it turn to 100 thumbs up, Dave.
38 minutes.
38 minutes is the new record for getting to 100 thumbs up. I got it down. I will never forget it. Now that is not going to be beaten, I don't think. Dave,
that's pretty amazing. Thank you.
That is amazing. Thank you all. Thank each and every one of you. You guys are awesome, man. 38 minutes. Awesome. Getting back really quick, and then we'll get back to Kolchak in a second. The 70s show that I never seen Mary Tyler Moore before in my life.
Okay.
I started watching the series, and am I drenched in 70s? Okay. I mean, I am drenched in 70s, and I'm finding out that it is a really good show.
Yeah,
I am hooked. Like 5 episodes now I'm watched, and they are all fantastic. I'm hooked. I'm hooked on Mary Tyler Moore. So there you go. I've got 7 or 8 seasons to go. Dave's like going, why didn't you go to Frasier next? Because I'm in a 70s kick. I got it. Okay. Anyways, getting back.
Okay.
So
I'm worried about after Mary Tyler Moore, you may go to Rhoda. Who knows?
I know, because Rhoda's in there, and Rhoda was a spinoff, but you know, it's got high praise for that show too. So we'll see. Yeah. But they're in the garage, and we see Victor from his henchmen. And once they break off from the nothing going on, there were no shootouts or nothing like that.
No, it was very civil conversation. It was just kind of threats of like, you're going to do this for me. I don't think so. He goes, well, you better, or this is going to happen to you. And
with bell bottoms.
They just kind of went on their own different ways. But as they're leaving, Kolchak gets caught.
Yes,
by the Italians. And this is my favorite line in the whole series of the episode, rather, where the guy takes Kolchak, pushes him up against the limo window, and the window goes down on his face, and Spossato's there, and he goes, and who are you? He goes, this is Kolchak. He goes, what's a Kolchak?
Yeah, Victor goes, this is Kolchak. Yeah. Mr. Sposato. Yeah. So he's caught. His face is against the thing, and Kolchak's trying his darndest to get out of the situation without being buried with the fishes.
Yeah.
You're going to be buried with the fishes.
And hello, Francis McCloskey.
Yeah, it's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to see Dave's face, right? Yeah. It's right up there too. Mine's way in the back in the shadows. I look in the shadows. Therefore, thus then. Dave, what? Only on the show can Dino say thus then. 71 years old here. Thanks for getting it, Susan Flaherty. Okay, there you go. Yeah. 71. Good for you. I hope I reach that. Is what I do. Will I reach 71 one day, Dave? I hope.
I know we've reached 71 thumbs up.
Yeah, yes, we did, and we're at 107 now. So, anyways, so what happens next?
Well, now the guy is talking about how he knows who killed the henchman, and he goes, but he's dead and buried. So they take Kolchak out to the cemetery, and Kolchak has to dig up the coffin.
Yes, I love that. They make him work. Dig up the dirt. Lenny and Squiggy, Paul Ham. Huh?
I saw that. I don't know what that's relating to.
Yeah, Lenny and Squiggy. I'm not sure. Anyways, that's Laverne and Shirley.
But that's also another great 70s series.
Yeah. Did somebody say something referring to that? Anyways, yes, Dave, like you were saying, they take him out to the cemetery to undig, because the only way he got out of the situation in the underground garage was to say, listen, I know it's the second time, there's no body buried there. So in order to prove it, they take him out there to dig it up and all that, and there's no body there.
No, but it's great because the caretaker showed up. He's all like, "What are you guys doing?"
In a robe.
He's in a robe, and again, a very famous voice actor from Disney.
Yes.
And he has that old flashlight that you see the caretakers have, and the next thing you know, he's down in the pit helping Kolchak dig up the body. They open it up. There's nothing in there.
Coffin's empty.
And so then they hear some noise, and the zombie reappears.
Yeah.
And there's
clean jeans. I love that. He's got great, perfect size. I'm guessing size 36, maybe. Levi's blues. Go on, Dave.
I was just going to say his mom is around, so she's probably doing laundry, keeping everything, keeping him looking good. Actually, grandmother. I think it's the grandson of the Voodoo lady.
Yes. But I don't think she's doing his laundry because he's not staying at her house. We find out at the end where he's staying. But anyways, it's a good point, Dave. But, so the zombie comes, kill, and he kills Victor. He kills his henchman, Victor, because he was trying to, I think, protect Mr. Sposato. Bullets are flying. But anyways, the zombie comes.
It was another, he was also involved in the death of the guy earlier. He was the one who I believe carried it out, who gave the okay for the hit.
Yes. And Mr. Sposato was getting mad at Victor over that. And while that argument was going on between the two is when the zombie came out. And the zombie kills Victor Frazee. And that takes Carl Kolchak to jail. So Roblox Guam was this is episode with Jaws from 007. I didn't see him in this, so it must be a later episode. I can't wait to see the episode with Jaws in it. This must be like a lot of the 70s shows where I think, Dave, we're going to be shown a lot of different actors that were on either Love Boat or or all these other 70s shows. I don't know if it was a
I will also mention Jaws was on one of my favorite TV shows from the 60s, The Wild Wild West.
Yes.
He was an assistant to the doctor, who I'm blanking on his name now. But it was really interesting to see a very young Richard Kiel starting off in Hollywood.
Okay. Wait, and which one did you say?
It was in the Wild Wild West.
Oh, the Wild
TV.
Wild West. Okay, gotcha.
First
And
season.
free your mind, and the rest will follow. Hey, free your mind. Halson Pfeffer, Corporated, LLL, John Swan. There you go. Shlemiel Schmazel. Ron Polio as Horseshack. Yeah. And Roger Rabbit. Dino with long 70s sideburns. Oh God, no, I don't think I could. Well, you know what? At one point I did try. Anyways, different conversation. Okay, so what happens next, Dave?
Well, you mentioned he got arrested.
Yes.
And then they head out to, once Vincenzo frees him.
Yeah.
He is
Hey, freeze your mind and the rest will follow. I don't know. Okay.
He's going to. We don't want any more clam chowder references this week.
Who was the guy? Was it Scott that said, "Can I please shut up and stop interrupting you"?
It was someone with the last name of Bear or something.
Bear. Okay.
Like Buffalo Bear. It was
Yeah.
just like, quit interrupting.
Yeah. I apologize to Dave on a daily basis. Don't you get like 20 texts a day? I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But,
and Carolyn Jones is actually buried down the street from the school that I teach at. And
Wow.
I've stopped by and saw her gravesite. She's buried with her mother, and always has roses or flowers around the.
Nice. Oh, and please check out Dave's channel. He is the Paranormal Gardener.
Yep.
If you like gardening and stuff like that, and you like Dave and his personality and the smile and the glasses and, Mr. Professor, and yeah, go check out his channel. The link's in the description below. There you go.
Thank you. But we meet the Voodoo lady, and everything seems cool. Although she is psychic, she's all, welcome, Mr. Kolchak, right as he knocks on the door.
Yeah.
And
Mrs. Edmonds is her name. Mrs. Edmonds, the mother of it's the mother of the zombie. She says it's the mother because I wrote it down. So yeah.
Yeah, and so she has a beautiful picture of him next to her chair.
If you say so.
And
what a mug! Anyway.
only a mug only a mother could love.
Exactly.
And then as he's leaving, he sees there's a dead chicken in the trash can.
Yeah, and picks it up out of it. I don't think I would have touched it, but whatever.
I wouldn't have touched it.
No.
And I don't know if it's at this point where he climbs up into the attic to start taking pictures. But
yeah, it's right after that. Well, you get a glimpse first off of after he picks up that chicken of the Voodoo priestess. You get a picture of her. She comes out the back door and she's got chickens down on the ground. She's got a dead chicken hanging above the door. She's got a dead chicken above the shack. And when she grabs one and she goes into the shack, and listen, this is as shacky as it gets. Is that a word? Is that an adjective? Shacky? Boy, your house looks really shacky, which means wood pallets with big gaps in them and very old wood that hasn't been stained, painted, or anything. Right there?
Again, it reminded me of the Ghost Breakers.
Yes. The same kind of shack.
It's perfect Hollywood, yeah.
Where the zombie kind of slept in, or, anyways. Oh my God, lots of similarities to that movie as I'm thinking. I mean, totally different, but in concept, a lot of similar things. But
Yes.
She goes into the shack and she's got chickens hanging all over the place. And yeah, Dave, go ahead. That's where we are. I don't want to take up all your time.
No, not at all.
It's your fun day.
He climbs up into this attic space. And of course, he's up on the girders looking down, and it kind of looks like Dino's table in a way. There is stuff everywhere. I mean, it is packed.
Yeah.
And there are these basically planks, and she writes names in blood onto the planks, and she's moving from left to right.
Oh, her victims.
Yeah, all the people have been killed already, except the next person is the chief of police. And then she's doing her little voodoo thing, and she's writing Kolchak as the one after him.
Yeah, I like when a little bit later, where like when she's back, they show the scene where she's in there again, and she's throwing either salt or rice or something at it, going more Kolchak, more Kolchak, more Kolchak, more. And I'm just like going, wow. But it's basically lipstick on a nice piece of wood.
Yeah.
You know, she could be using that wood to cover up holes in the shack, but she
Could
doesn't.
be.
It's for victims.
It's Chicago. It's winter's cold there.
I know. But yeah, evidently she's the one doing all the bidding of her son, which is terrible. What a terrible voodoo priestess Mrs. Edmonds is. Well, is she still Mrs. Edmonds if we don't see the husband? Is he passed too?
Sure.
Yeah,
I would always call her Mrs. Edmonds.
Okay. So you're always Mrs. Edmonds, even if you're widowed. Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't know how that goes.
Especially back then.
Oh, yeah, true. But yeah, no, she had wooden boards. But so yeah, that's pretty much it. And Kolchak goes back to the office, and no worries on his face, right, Dave? I mean, I was kind of surprised.
I would have been freaked out if I saw my name on one of those planks. But Kolchak's all like, I've already killed, we've got a strangler I've already killed. I've already, put a stake through the heart of a vampire. Voodoo is probably nothing to him.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. But just the fact that I think she's trying to get revenge on the people who are involved in everything going on around her son's death. But she made him a zombie is what she did. Basically, she made him a zombie.
Yeah.
And why would you do that to your son? I mean, weren't there other voodoo? Well, I won't get into it. She could have taken care of these people in other ways, but
I agree.
We wouldn't have had a show, right, Dave? It
That's
wouldn't
true.
have been called Zombie.
Only 19 episodes in the series.
Yeah, or it would have been called Voodoo Lady, and we don't want that episode.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I would have done it, is taking my own revenge, let my son rest in peace. And,
We're taking the correct way out of this situation, Dave. It's a TV show. But yeah, no, it is what it is. But we're getting towards the end here. I mean, I do like where they are back at the office, and Vincenzo is there, and this is where we do get a glimpse of Monique again. She does show up here towards the end. Right? Did I miss anything in between there?
Well, there was one really great interchange between Kolchak, Vincenzo, and Monique. And basically, it was after going back a little bit.
Yeah.
She got out of the trunk, and she's pissed. I mean, she is insanely angry at Kolchak, and she wants an apology. And she's already called her dad in New York. And so Vincenzo is talking to Kolchak. Kolchak is talking to the guy in the morgue, and he's like having a conversation with him. But Vincenzo thinks Kolchak's talking to him, but he's not. And he's all like, well, I want you to say, you're sorry to Monique, hands Monique the phone. And Kolchak's like, there's no one on this line. And he hangs up. And then Monique gets in. She's all, I'm going to kill him,
She's hysterical a little bit.
Oh, yeah, she lost it.
And he throws her in a taxi. And as he closes the door, he goes, New York. Send her off to New York.
Yeah, well, at that point, it's just before the zombie gets on the bus, which I don't know how he has any money. Is there a bus pass? Is there, just like, I'm not messing with this guy. But he had just killed someone else in an alley. And they're going up to take pictures of it. And Monique just kind of loses it. Just like, oh, my God, it's a dead body. And freezes up. And we know at this time she's never going to be like truly that reporter.
No.
Puts her in the cab off to Brooklyn. And that's the last we see of poor Monique.
Yeah. And we find out later when Vincenzo's on the phone. I'm skipping to the end, but it's not going to give away what we're going to talk about. He's on the phone with the Monique's father, the bigwig guy, Mr. Abe. And he said he's back. She's on her way to New York, and he goes, "Oh, thank God, I didn't want her out there anyways, because she, and all that good stuff." So that worked out, but it was kind of funny. But yes, the bus scene is the next. We are headed to the junkyard. But before we get there, yeah.
I was just gonna say I loved seeing Carl Kolchak ride on the very back side of the bus with all the exhaust. With it's the middle of the night. People aren't honking or doing anything. There's no police stopping the bus. You can't do that today.
I know, right? Francis McCloskey, I never heard of the series until a year ago or so. Listen, well, I heard it a few years ago from Dave and didn't get to it for some years. And then I was so glad I did. And now we are venturing into the series. But Kolchak, classic for a reason, right? Let's see. Did somebody else say something? Oh, zombie had correct change. Okay, but before we get to the bus and the end of the movie here and stuff, I like how he goes into the office and he tells Vincenzo, he basically lays forth how to kill a zombie. And he's telling Vincenzo, and he says there are four things technically that you need. You need white candles, matches, you need salt, and you need a needle and sewing thread. And sewing.
And he does it. He even ties a knot at the end. Pull. He does it perfect. He's a perfect mime.
Oh, it's great because, and he takes off with this stuff, and he's basically going to try to track down the zombie, which he said lays in a place of the dead, is what he says. So look at cemeteries, things like that. And he does I don't know how he gets. Did he follow him? Did he see the zombie and follow him on the bus? Did I turn away for a second?
Yeah, you did. Because what had happened was he had a murder. The zombie, as you would, just goes to the bus stop across the street. And Kolchak sees him, tosses Monique in the cab, jumps on the back of the bus. And we can see the zombie just sitting in one of the seats. And then he gets off at the car place.
Yes, the junkyard.
Junkyard, yes.
Oh, and Paul Hams, save it for the episode. Don't spoil anything, my friend. We want to have the joy of talking about it with you. Anyways, I'm just joking, Paul, but yeah. So yes, they get to the junkyard, and he gets in there, and he starts climbing over all these cars, and I think he has a tetanus shot. So go ahead.
But I wanted to go back for just a moment. You had mentioned the recipe for killing a zombie.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that recipe before?
Somewhere, yes, it's in my head. Somewhere I have heard that before.
Okay. That was the first time, and I'm like, they're really stretching it. Normally with the vampire, you have the stake through the heart.
Yeah.
I get that. But with the zombie, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, salt, I can see that. But then it's like you got to stitch the mouth. You got to have these white candles. You got to have, oh my gosh.
Salt, something with, listen, we know salt is an element. It's dealt with in witchcraft. It somewhat repels evil and stuff like that. So I think in the curse, listen, I didn't research how to kill a zombie for this show, but I do remember hearing that salt in the sewing, all of that for the process of killing a zombie or stopping a zombie who is supposed to be dead and letting them lay to rest. But anyways, very cool. But I do like how he's climbing and falling down kind of the cars that are stacked. And I swear to God, I wouldn't be doing that because I know I'd get sliced open by a rusty door. But
I agree. But this was also very similar in terms of formula to the two movies we've seen where there's this big time period, maybe 5-10 minutes of no dialogue. And you're just watching him. And it was very, very dark. It was, it's nighttime and it's dark in this place. and I had a tough time like kind of enjoying that segment where
Yeah.
you know,
I think it might be part of the film too, just the degrading of the darkness of the film. I mean, I think that probably has something to do with it because they're not the greatest quality, but they're good. But it probably lends to, listen, either way, it was a dark scene, but I think the degradation of the type of film it was for the day was just made it a little bit darker. Maybe I could be wrong, Dave, but yeah, I agree with you. There were lots of details that I would have liked to have seen, even once he got to the bottom on there. And Sears James, yes, this was a bit dark in this scene. I mean, you got Kolchak sweating. He looks down from the top and he sees a car that says funeral on the side of it. So the zombie lay with the dead. He's laying in a hearse, right, Dave? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And we're also getting cut scenes of the mother as well.
Yes, that's where she's throwing the rice at Kolchak and go, Kolchak. And meanwhile, this was the particular scene where I saw the zombie laying out in the back of the hearse with the jeans on, and I'm like going, man, those are good faded wash jeans. But and again, it was dark. It was hard to see the face the way you wanted to see it, because when he eventually does come out of the back of the hearse, the wagon, whatever you want to call it, the place where the dead rest. Not for long. It's the place where the dead take a small journey. But the car has broken down, and why is it in the junkyard? I don't know, Dave.
I don't know either.
But yeah, he crawls. Do you want to describe it in detail? Put us in suspense, Professor.
Well, I want to say hello to Dre Finest 22. Said nice things about your channel.
Top of the evening to everyone. Great channel. Thank you, Dr. E Finest 22 or Dre Finest. No, he's been in the he or she, I don't know what, I would think maybe male by the name, but I've been down that road before, right, CM? I was corrected. Sometimes by the names you can't tell if they're male or female, but I've seen him in the overnights plenty of times. Becoming a regular. Appreciate it, man. You guys, all the people, like I said, you guys are all family, Late Horror Show family. Dave's an uncle over here. No, he's a brother. Listen, we're same age just about, so I think we might be same exact age. But anyways, let's not talk about that. So go ahead. Talk a little detail.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being 35.
No, exactly. Well, see, I should have said something then. But
Right.
Yeah, you're correct.
Okay.
But I want you, pretend your class is in front of you, Dave, and describe the scene of Kolchak going in and snuggling up next to the zombie.
Well, he does snuggle up. It's a very uncomfortable, totally uncomfortable scene.
It is.
I mean, it is dark. He is in the hearse. He's got the candles lit, and they're in on the outside of the tire. What is that? Not a rim, but maybe it was a rim. I don't know. He's got it like in between the spokes of a tire. Yeah.
I think a hubcap.
Yeah, a hubcap. That's what I'm looking. Think of. And so he is sweating so much that, I mean, it's like almost they're pouring water on the back of his head because the water's just dripping off.
Oh yeah, so he is sweating up a storm. So what you could see during this shooting, the scene that he was really sweating.
But and he's got his famous hat on and his famous suit and everything like that.
Bye, CM.
And then it's weird too because he's got the zombie next to him and he's kind of trying to open up the salt container. And then he finally gets that done. And again, it's all quiet, all suspense, and he's pouring it into the zombie's mouth. But then the zombie wakes up.
Yeah, he did get one stitch in, but that's it.
Yeah. So then there is a short chase scene that does end in the demise of the zombie.
A very short chase scene because they go out of the back of the wagon and something quickly happens, right, Dave?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't like to talk about it. Please say.
I wouldn't either. But we're just going to say that the zombie meets his end.
Yes,
and it's unfortunate for the zombie. And Carl underneath it has the candles, and it's weird because the candles go out one by one. I thought that was very X-File-ish.
Yes.
And then we also see again the cut screen of the mother, and she knows the moment her son is dead.
Yes, because she's crying or she's doing a. There was one thing when the zombie and Kolchak was in there, and Kolchak was trying to pour the salt in his mouth and doing all of that, trying to kill him. Dave, please tell me if I'm crazy or I have to go back and rewatch that scene, because I swear to God, you can hear the zombie breathing, almost a little you know how you go. I heard that. Did you not hear that or catch that?
I did not catch it. I would maybe have thought it was Carl Kolchak doing that.
Okay, I'm going to have to back up again and check that out, because I could have sworn I wrote down snoring ? Because it sounded like that. Wakes up with the sun. Darren Garcia dropped in late. Good evening, everyone. Night Stalker, a fave for sure. Good to see you, Darren Garcia. Been a long while. And Roblox Guam, I do see you chanting in here. I usually don't. We're an adult channel. We usually say things sometimes, but if you're a horror lover, I think you said 8 years old. You love this Kolchak. Good for you, my friend. And if your dad's introducing you to all of that, that's awesome. I did the same thing to my kids, and they all love horror films now. The good horror. Listen, don't go watch the ones like Saw. I think your dad's taking you in the right direction. Some of these Kolchak type movies. Go watch The Mummy, Dracula, Frankenstein, and Werewolf. There you go. But Dave, did you mute yourself?
I muted myself. Sorry.
Were you making noises? Did you eat tacos tonight?
No.
Because I'll do that if it happens. If you ever see this go off, something's going on.
I just thought when you do that, you usually get a text from your kids or something. But no,
that happens too.
I had the film on and everything, just to try to hear that grunting again, and I couldn't hear it.
You couldn't? Okay. I don't know why I put this because I thought I heard it, but anyways. Ghost of Mr. Chicken, Roblox. Yeah, another good one. Don Knotts, man.
I was going to mention for you had suggested a couple of horror movies. Don't forget Abbott and Costello.
Oh,
Meet Frankenstein. You got to see that if you're 8 years old. Yeah,
listen, Roblox Guam. If you're 8 years old, I'm just saying because you never know on YouTube. But so far so good. You have to watch Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. If you're 8 years old and you watch this for the first time with your dad, I think it will be a memory that you will take on for the rest of your life. So watch Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. Tell your dad you got to watch it. Anyways, good one, Dave. I'm glad you brought that up because that needs to be seen by as many kids as possible to keep that kind of alive, that spirit of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein and the others.
Yeah, and I think one of the actors as well in this episode was in the Abbott and Costello Who Done It.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went back and searched all their IMDb's, and I remember one of them was in that.
Okay. Listen, Who Done It's a really good one. Who Done It? Abbott Costello Meet Frankenstein. Meet the Killer is another good one. Listen, I love them all, but another good one. Listen, Kolchak, I'm loving that we did this. We hit a record at 38 minutes with 100 thumbs up. Fantastic. We will be hitting these Kolchak episodes. So, but as always,
we're not done with the episode yet.
Wait, why?
because there's Kolchak has some threats for us at the end of the episode.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
We're back in the office.
Yes,
and
we are.
he starts talking about like the mother. Well, she got deported. And I thought that was kind of a racy thing to say.
Yeah.
And then he goes, Captain Winwood, relieved of duty. So he also says, because of health reasons. But we know that, they found out he was, paying in for the mob.
Yeah.
But then Francois Edmonds buried a third time. This time rock salt poured into his mouth and the lips sewn shut. So, just like that.
Well, yeah, there was the quote. Yeah, I mean.
But then he says, if you care to venture out to St. Lucy's Cemetery, you can see for yourself. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going out there. If there's a zombie that has salt, salt in his mouth, it's just like, I dare you to go and do it, and it's just like, okay.
Oh my God.
And then of course at the end you see him typing on the really cool old typewriter, and then the credits run. But
then the end.
So good.
Oh yes. Listen, again, I like I talked about this was, and listen, Francis McCloskey, I'm sorry to hear that you saw that trailer. I hate to say it, that kind of stuff is just not up my alley, and I think it's a shame for the horror community to have that. Listen, we've had exploitation films, I've even watched giallo films where some of them kind of cross the line, but Saw is just a whole different ball game. And I don't even want to talk about it. But anyways, yes, I think me and Dave next week may talk Art Bell, but not a Ghost to Ghost, probably maybe a Father Malachi Martin. Isn't that what we talked about?
Yeah, I think that Father Malachi Martin would be really a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, and listen, that's some deep conversation we'll be getting into. And then, we'll see. Week to week, I think we'll get a Kolchak in once a month, and we'll get an Art Bell in once a month. And then it's nice to play around with a couple other ones that we just want to have fun with. So
now I also want to bring up something as well. One thing that we kind of did last year, but there was technical difficulty and it got scrapped. We should have a talk on Murder by Death.
A talk on Murder by Death? Okay, we didn't talk about that.
No, we did, but there was such bad audio, and I think it was a storm passing through Cleveland at the time, and you ended up just deleting it because it was so bad. Oh,
did I really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was originally a watch along after we did Clue, but I think we can just do a kind of a breakdown, a film breakdown, and everything.
Well, and I think we can compare it to other murder type episodes, like Clue. And I think we could throw in a few different movies around the discussion we have with Murder by Death too. I think we can do that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, I think that's one. Jamie, I'd like a trivia night host edition, Dino versus Dave. Who would be asking the questions? That's what I'd like to know. You gonna come on and ask the questions?
Connie.
Or Dave, you come up with, see, but what if I came up and made sure that my questions were harder than yours for a particular film?
I don't know. I hate to say this. I'm actually working on a Dino trivia.
Are you? Okay.
How well do we know Dino?
Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, Dave.
If you've been a fan of the channel for a long time, you know a lot of things about Dino, and I just want to see. I mean, I realize, Paul Hamm will walk away with it, but
I don't know. Oh. No, that would be interesting if you did, Dave. But Jamie, I don't think that can happen because we need a third party to sit in to give us the questions. And we have to kind of agree to the movie. But I mean, I love the idea, Dave. I don't know what Dave thinks.
I agree.
Yeah.
But logistic-wise, it'd be tough.
Yeah, it'd be kind of.
But I want to go back to Roblox Guam.
Okay.
It's not what's Art Bell, it's who's Art Bell.
Yeah.
And this is a radio host that both Dino and I absolutely love, who's not around anymore. But his shows were all about the paranormal.
Yes, yes. Paranormal. He was an overnight talk show who talked paranormal, UFOs, aliens, ghosts.
Go to the Late Late
Yeah.
Horror Show main page and type in Art Bell. We've done 7 episodes already.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're all good. They're all good.
Yes, they are. They're all good. They've been great discussions. Talking about the ghost stories or whatever else we do. Alien Outlaw, meet me in the parking garage at the Cheesecake Factory in Crocker Park. Alien Outlaw? What? Shoot me a message. You're like a hop, skip, and a jump. You're like 20 minutes away.
I don't know if I want him to shoot me a message. He may be part of the syndicate.
Alien Outlaw. Yeah, no, listen. Alien Outlaw's been around a little bit now, and listen. Hop, skip, and a jump to Crocker Park. So it's like 20 minutes. So yeah. Maybe we can meet up and you can get a fan picture with me. Dope fan picture. What an a-hole I am. Anyways,
You're only an a-hole if you charge him for it.
That's true. What the heck? Oh my God. What is the airspeed velocity of a European swallow? Name the movie, non-horror flick. What is the airspeed? Top Gun. Top Gun. Am I right? See, I beat you already, Dave. Sorry. See everybody next week. I ain't even waiting for the answer. I think I won. Okay. Well, hey, it's been great having everybody. Wow. 9:17. Yeah, we got through this. Monty Python. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. What is this airspeed velocity of? Okay, so I'm wrong.
I'm not a Monty Python person.
Faulty Towers. You got to watch that, Dave.
I do like Faulty Towers.
Okay.
But I and Are You Being Served and all that.
Yeah.
But I just never got Monty Python.
Yeah. Monty Python's a little out there.
Except the dead bird.
Yeah.
I'm returning this bird. It's dead.
It's a certain kind of humor, and certain people get it. And if you're not one of those people, you would look at it and you would go, "The heck are you?" Like even Mel Brooks at times. You either love Mel Brooks, or you think Mel Brooks is the worst person ever when it comes to making films. So I mean, it's tough.
That is true.
Rocking Hills. Okay. Gotcha.
Because even like for instance, we love Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And I think he also did Robin Hood Men in Tights. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I did not laugh at one time during Blazing Saddles.
Really?
That is just something I did not find funny.
Okay.
And I have yet to see The Producers, so I do have high hopes for that.
Oh, Francis is about 12 hours east. Okay. Get back here. Okay, here we are.
Hello.
I guess we need to end this.
Yeah.
Before it messes up the stream. What was I going to say though? What did you just say, Dave?
I was talking about The Producers. I had never seen them, and you sucked all the air out of the room. And
yes, Dave, you need to see The Producers so bad. It is so good. One of the best Gene Wilders. But yeah, let me see. Okay, Boomer. I was a kid when The Night Stalker came out. I loved it. Okay, Boomer. I figured out. Okay, with that said, Dave's frozen. Although I see him on the side, but I can see him moving around over there. But peace and love to y'all. Good to see everybody in the chat. Any last words, Dave? I guess you can't speak, so
I can speak.
You can speak at least, yeah. He's a mannequin now. Say something.
That's okay.